Hello, what's everybody doing out there in the YouTube land? I know it's been a while since I made a video, and well, I'm back. It might actually be my birthday that I'm back on. Yes, it is 12:01 a.m. I'm now a year older. We got another video. Might as well get these done super early in the morning or late at night, however you want to look at it. That way I can enjoy the rest of my birthday day. So I'm going to do something super simple. Let's go ahead and quit Slic3r. And let's open up a new version of Slic3r here, so that way it's nice and fresh and clean and beautiful. And let's just go to my regular profile here. So, pretty PLA. There we go. So we got my normal pretty PLA profile. And we're actually going to talk about profiles. We're going to talk about how you might have sliced something, and 2 days later, like, oh my gosh, what settings did I use on that? I don't remember. I didn't save them. Oh, it's exactly the same thing as loading a profile. It's actually that easy. So normally when you load a profile, you hit Command or Control L, or you go to File, Load, Config in Slic3r. So you can do that with your Gcode file. Your previously sliced Gcode files can be reloaded so you can find the settings used previously. So let's take a look. I'm currently reprinting the Master Sword, and I made it when I first printed it. It was probably a year ago. I reprinted the Master Sword first, and it was too weak. I put like 2 perimeters and 10% infill, and maybe even 5% because I just want to get printed, done. I was too scared to do 24-hour prints and whatever. So I didn't make it very strong. It broke. So this time I'm going to beef it up. But what did I beef it up to? Because normally my profile, if we go to print settings, my standard pretty PLA is simple. I mean, 3 perimeters. 0.2 millimeter layer heights, infill is 10% grid, nothing fancy. I mean, it's not going to be a very strong print. It's not going to be weak, but it's not going to be strong enough to be a hand-holdable fancy sword thing that people might swing around and it snaps in multiple places like the one that I made did. So what I'm doing this time is beefing it up, but I don't remember what those settings were. Oh my gosh, I need to slice some more parts for the Master Sword, and this kid just forgot his settings. So the easiest way to do this, and the only way to do this actually, is to load the config. So we're actually going to go, and we're going to go to our documents folder here where I keep everything, and 3D printing, and to print. And I've got my files that I've just been slicing here. So let's take a look at the handle. So this is the Master Sword handle, and I'm trying to remember the settings. So when I load that, it doesn't load the actual file, but what it did load the settings. So you notice how earlier I was just at my standard MK3 pretty profile. Now it says MK3 PLA, so it's actually loaded the Gcode in there because that's the only settings I changed. I didn't change anything in the filament or printer settings. But if you look over at print settings, you can see the infill, instead of being 10% grid, is now 30% gyroid. And my layers and perimeters have changed to 4 perimeters versus 3. This is much beefier than previous. And yeah, this is actually pretty cool because normally you would print something and you'd like 10 days later be like, oh my gosh, what settings did I use? The print turned out perfect, etc. upon etc. Instead of, yelling at yourself for not writing down the settings, just go ahead and load them back up. Pull out that Gcode, go to File, go to Load Config, and it'll load the file back in so you can reread the settings that previously. I mean, you can also, right click on it and open a text editor and look at all the settings. But this is a lot faster. So yeah, so I hope this helps you guys, whenever you decide that, you had a great setting, you don't remember what the settings were, and you want to recall them, this is the way to do it because it'll be dropped in. You can now save it. If I hit the save button here, I can rewrite this thing as beefy, profile for PLA. That way, I have those settings saved for future use or at least future reference. So yeah, if you save your Gcodes, you can save those settings. So hopefully that helps you out at some point. If not, I apologize, but I know this will help some of you. So there's your quick little tip on a hidden feature in Slic3r Prusa Edition. This is in all versions, not just the newest 1.4, 1.2, which just came out the other day, and probably by the time you watch this, there might be another one because they're really quick on updating. So hopefully that helps. And again, load those Gcodes if you forget your settings. Thanks again, and stay tuned for more informative Slic3r videos from me.